Okay, good morning, YouTubers. Woke up today. There was a bad storm last night, and my filter shut off. My little protected system over there filters. The wind blew the top off, let water in during a thunderstorm, short-circuited much of everything, and so I've had to reroute stuff because I have a system that's, water resistant. I now have my filters going again. Luckily, because of a large surface area, there is more than enough oxygen. Well, not more than enough. There was enough oxygen. It's probably down to 20-something percent dissolved oxygen. And that's why the fish are gasping at the surface. But luckily, because of the storm, this water temperature has also cooled down somewhat. Large surface area, cooler temperatures have allowed these fish to survive the night. I don't see a single dead fish, so dissolved oxygen levels dropped. I have lots of plants in here. We all know plants go from photosynthesis to respiration at night, and so they use up a lot of oxygen in the pond, and so you must have an aerator going to keep your fish alive. I don't see a lot of my large fish up here, so that's a good sign that still enough oxygen, those large fish will stay below. But I do see a fish that I haven't seen in a long time, which is my silver datnoid. Maybe you can see him over here, and he's gasping. This is a perfect time to record the fish I don't ever get to see normally. There you go, that's my silver datnoid. And he was big when I put him in, and he has grown probably twice the size he was when I first got him. If you look over to the corner there, you'll see an African scat. And there is a mono argenteus, Asian mooney, that are also in this little shallow pond area that I have gasping for air. There go the silver African scats. Why do I keep saying silver scat? There goes one of my catfish, by the way, the Arias samani, shark catfish, and you can see a black belt cichlid maybe at the bottom there. Other fish that I have gasping for air is my red scats that are over there, and maybe you can see the pike. Now that the filter's going, it's kind of hard to see what's going on in the water. But I have Asian needle nose fish. I call them pike. Where I come from in the Caribbean, we would call those pike fish. I thought this would be a great time to show what happens after a storm. This has happened to me before during a hurricane. Hurricane came through and a lot of debris fell into the pond. I didn't take it very seriously. The pond was covered in leaves and Spanish moss. And as that stuff biodegraded, of course, it ate up all the oxygen in the pond. And I did lose some fish then because I was too busy cleaning up around the yard. I think I just saw another fish, and he is gone. That reflection off the water is not helping me at all. But I thought it was interesting. I'm going to walk around the pond and see what else is struggling. Oh, these guys got shut off as well. This is my little side pond. There's some very small fish in here, so they're probably fine. I don't see anybody gasping in here. This is the other little side pond that I have. These are going to act as giant refugiums, where I'm going to put some plants in them. Ooh, well, look, who's that struggling there? That is, that's my other datnoid. I don't know if you can see him there or not. Kind of. So yeah, I have 3 datnoids in here. One is a silver datnoid. Ooh, and actually that is the silver datnoid out there. This is my gold datnoid, American datnoid, whatever you want to call it. They can tolerate brackish water conditions, despite what the material says. I've had regular datnoids, not the silver or the New Guinea datnoid, which is also in this pond. I'm going to see if I can find a New Guinea datnoid. Oh, you can see some of my mono sea bays down there. Some more silver scats. Everybody's gasping for air. It sucks that they all have to come gasping for air so everybody can see them, but this is a great chance for everybody to see what's going on. I'm going to drop here comes the silver datnoid straight to us. Move slowly so we don't scare him. And then, of course, I have my green chromides. You can see the green chromides in there. And you can see a silver scat, which is that guy right there. It's a silver scat. Datnoid came back to the surface. There he is. That's the silver Datnoid. What I showed you in the blue bin was the gold Datnoid, American Datnoid, whatever that is, a regular freshwater Datnoid. But they can tolerate. Oop, there goes the New Guinea Datnoid at the bottom. He just went around the base of that Black Panther planter bin over there, and he is gone. There is a Polani, Madagascar, and of course there are my archers. Can you see the archer? He's over there. I'm going to try and record the Datnoids more because I don't get to see them that much. I haven't seen either of these Datnoids in 2 years. I wasn't even sure if they were still alive. And bam, here they are. Yep, that's a silver Datnoid. He is about 6 inches. Ooh, he's looking good, isn't he? Whoop, there he goes. I moved. Freaked him out. He'll come back up for air. The other thing I want to mention is that I added 2 Diamondback Terrapins. So in the state of Florida, you must now have a permit, which I have. And you're only allowed to keep 2 Diamondback Terrapins, which I have. I have a little male and a slightly larger female. Little meaning he's about 2 to 3 inches, and the female is about 3 to 4 inches. Let's go back over here, film the silver scats. Sorry, African scats. Don't know why I keep calling them silver scats. Alright, that's pretty cool that I finally get to see a lot of these fish I don't get to see normally. I do get to see the monos. See the mono right there, but normally they're in deeper water. I did build this pond for me to get into the water with the fish, so yeah. There's a puffer back there. There's a can you see the puffer? I don't know if you can see the puffer. Oh, there he is. There's a leopard puffer. Actually, no, that's a figure 8 with some weird looking markings. It's not your typical figure 8 markings. He's coming this way, coming this way. Oh, there he is. There's the puffer. Figure 8 puffer, or supposed to be. There's a giant mono over here. Asian mono, Asian mooney. And of course my Datnoid, who's still struggling. So this is why I check my fish. First thing I wake up every morning, and I check them before I go to sleep, as soon as I get home from work. So I'm always checking on these fish. I also have a camera. For those of you who've seen the last video, there's a camera over there. And I recently, ooh, you can actually see the, ooh, there he is. See that little white head sticking up? That is a Diamondback Terrapin, concentric. That would be a northern Diamondback Terrapin, Malaclemis terrapin, I believe it is. And that's the female. She hangs out in that corner of the pond. If we're lucky, maybe the male will pop up, and then I'll feed them there. Again, I try to feed everybody. Ooh. Oh, we just missed it. There is the New Guinea Datnoid. Ooh. Can't see anything with that reflection. Let's move back over to this side. So maybe we'll see the male before this video is done. Okay, there is the silver Datnoid again. Ooh, he's looking nice. And behind him to the right is a black belt cichlid. And to the left of that black belt cichlid is a green chromide. And at the top, gasping for air, are my very large mono sea bays, or African monos. And then over here, well, you can see that. You can see the African scats. So it looks like I have about a lot of fish. Oh, there he is, there he is. There is the area. That's the New Guinea Datnoid. Very cool. So what's cool about the New Guinea Datnoid, besides being brackish oriented like the silver Datnoid, is that unlike being this cream and black color, he has like a yellow and black color. Oh, there's another, sorry, there's a leopard puffer, spotted puffer, whatever you want to call him. There, of course, is one of my monos, female monos. There's an African scat coming to gasp for air. Cool. And then there's 2 green chromides down below. So you see it with 3. And the green chromides have been breeding in the back end of this pond. So I'm hoping this drop in dissolved oxygen doesn't affect them too much. I think I've recorded just about everything in this pond today. That's pretty cool. What I haven't recorded are the Asian needlenose fish, or what I call pike fish. Ooh. There you go. If that's any better or not. That's actually worse. Let's go back to this. So for those of you, look what's coming into view just behind the African mono is a Pinstripe Damba, which is a Madagascan fish. Oh, they're actually coming to the surface. 1, 2, 3. You can see them right there. Pinstripe Damba are not brackish water fish. They, however, can tolerate hard alkaline conditions. I got those from someone in Akabid, and I do believe they will breed in here. They do tolerate these low-end brackish water system. They remind me of another type of Damba from Madagascar, which is known for being in brackish water systems, and I have a theory about certain fish with a certain look that can take certain conditions. I'm not going to state that theory here because some people might say, oh, well, Bruce said this. I'm going to try it. It's just a theory. Oh, those are my orange chromides. They're there at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not. Orange chromides. It's not coming out too well, is it? As the sunlight comes up, it's going to be harder and harder to see things here. Yep, those are orange chromides. Whew. There's my big old girl archerfish. Or boy. I don't know what it is. The purpose of this pond was to be big enough so these animals will supposedly breed. Now I do have tiger moray eels in here. I doubt we're going to see those. They can tolerate pretty low dissolved oxygen conditions. Oh, look at that. There is a Perichthys. That's another Madagascan fish. Gets about 3 inches, gets about the size of the orange chromide. And it is a brackish water fish. So I have a combination of brackish tolerant and brackish water, and some fish that actually need full strength seawater, but they're not adults yet, and when we get to that road we'll cross it. We'll have to raise the salinity for those fish that need higher salinities. They're my black belt cichlids, and they're actually mixed in with, I think they're called rainbow cichlids. They're vieja, some other type of vieja. Those are my green chromides. Look at them. Slowly swimming by. Ooh, so I really do need an underwater camera. But even with the underwater camera, a lot of these fish you will never see because they will just hide. So this is a great opportunity. Unfortunate, but great opportunity to see a lot of the fish I don't normally see. There goes 3 monos, and sometimes I forget how many monos I have. It's just a great time for me to see them and count everybody and say, oh wow, I got so many monos. Ooh, look at that big, thick archerfish. Look at those Pinstripe Dambas over there. And that is a pretty big archerfish. Now they can get in the wild close to a foot, maybe some even bigger than that, but as big as my pond is, these guys are probably not going to get more than 6 to 8 inches. They do get fed well, I can tell you that. Look at all these fish. All these fish I got here. Ooh, I guess you can't see those in the back. Can't really see anything unless I zoom in. There goes the datnoid again. My silver datnoid. Yep, oxygen levels are coming back up, buddy. And we'll go check oxygen levels in a second. It's really more important that I get all my equipment up and running, which it is now, so oxygen levels will go up rather than me measuring them. Let's see if they are going up. And because I don't get to see these fish, I'd rather record these fish right now. They're lazy, and oh, there goes the you still can't see him, the Asian needlenose gar. It was just here. He's swimming away, and there's 4 of them in here. They're all about a foot long. They're really cool. The good thing about Asian needlenose gar versus like a Florida gar is that the Asian needlenose gar have much smaller mouths, which means they can't eat my fish, the larger fish. So they only eat very small fish that I put in here about the size of, ooh, there you go. There's a black belt cichlid down below there. Ooh, where are you going? There we go. Oh, you guys are so stressed out, you're just ignoring me, huh? Which is not a good thing, but again, I get chance to record everybody. Let's see who's here. There is a mud skipper in here. Oh, there is an eel right there. There he is. See him? He's at the surface of that black thing there. There's an eel. Well, we'll have to get in this pond. Of course, that'll freak everybody out. But there, you see the eel? There he is. Maybe that's a better angle. Yeah, there's the eel. Tiger moray eel. There is at least 4 of them in here. Or should be. And I saw one not too long ago in a tube. Cool. And so I'm hoping there's more than just that one that we're seeing now. That there are more tiger moray eels, we're just not seeing them for whatever reason. Oh, deer fly, give it a rest. I'm going to go on the other side of the pond and we'll see if we can catch a better angle of some of these fish. Whew. African scats again. There's my American / gold datnoid in the corner. So you get a, whoa, I didn't even see that fish. A lot of fish in here that I can't see until I get too close and they freak out, which is a good sign if they're freaking out actually. Because it means they have just enough oxygen that they can have bursts of energy. That's my other leopard puffer, which aren't gasping for air, surprisingly enough. You know, some of these fish are better adapted for low dissolved oxygen levels than others. Let's walk over this way. Let's see. So usually my other Diamondback Terrapin hangs out around here somewhere. And again, you know, the angle on my other datnoid, my gold datnoid, American datnoid, whatever the heck you want to call it. I do believe it's Datnoides microlepis is that particular datnoid. I'm not sure. That's what I normally feed. If you can see them, those are minnows. That's what I normally put in here for the Asian needlenose guard to eat. Still don't see the mud skipper anywhere. Still don't see my little male Diamondback Terrapin anywhere. Again, it was a pretty bad storm. Whew. Yeah, there's a better angle. Maybe here, maybe a better angle, I don't know. Now you can see the tiger moray eel better here. You can see he's gasping for air. I'm surprised he's the only one up here. There's probably other tiger moray eels in here that are gasping that I just can't see because they're better hidden than this guy is. But there's a tiger moray eel right there. This is where Diamondback Terrapin was hanging out. Oh, there she is. There's her little head. Oh, there she is, yeah. Hey, girl. What you up to? There she is. That's the female Diamondback Terrapin. And she's a bit skittish, so she's probably not going to come out any more than expose herself any more than she already has right there. Oh, there she is. Okay, and the male, I usually don't like to do more than 20 minutes at a time. But if the male pops up, let's see. Let's look in this pond water here. Nothing. I was really hoping that if there are more tiger moray eels that I would see more. You know, when you put these fish in, you're really never sure what's happening with them. And there probably are more tiger moray eels. I'm sure they're all that size or bigger, so I don't see why they would not have survived. I feed these guys grass shrimp. I feed them crayfish. There's lots of snails, lots of stuff that a crustacean eater like the tiger moray eel would love to eat in here. So there's more than enough food to go around. Not to mention all of the food that I give these fish. I give them a certain pellet food, Jumbo Min from Tetra. And whatever that they don't eat, the larger fish, it just sinks to the bottom. I'm pretty sure everybody who's at the bottom, catfish and whatnot, get get what the leftovers are, and I put seafood mix that I get from Aldi. It's like $6.99 for a pound of seafood mix. Can't beat it. And it comes with scallops, oysters, shrimp, squid, and I don't know, clam or something like that for about $6 or $7. And I put it in the freezer, and I usually buy packs of it at a time because it's cheaper than paying 8 ounces, $10 for 8 ounces of something similar in the pet shop. So if you look, you shall find, or there's definitely things outside the pet shop that you can get that'll save you money. Anything going on down in there? Yeah. Looks like this video is probably going to run. I'll push it to 25 minutes. Just because we're probably not going to have this situation again anytime soon where I can record this many fish. And there's a whole bunch of them. You can see them struggling, gasping for air. I can see my Pinstripe Dambas. Oh, something just went in that pipe, and I bet you that's probably going to be my mud skipper. He's probably at the surface. He's in that little PVC pipe. I just saw something bolt in there. Yeah. There's so many nooks and crannies in this pond, and again, I made it that way specifically so everything has a place to hide somewhere that they can feel safe. And if I stand here long enough, oops, something else just bolted to my left. I don't know what that is. Can't quite see if the mud skipper's in there now, but more than likely that's his little PVC pipe. When the sun comes out and he gets hot, he gets out of that. Goes below this crate, beneath this black crate is there's like a second level. Hard to explain, and they can go through those holes in the crate that you see to the second level and kind of hang out. It's like a really cool reef-like system that I have there. And those are the minnows. Look. Shit, there he is. See that long-looking thing? That's the needle-nosed gar. Asian needle-nose. Yeah, he's kind of got his little end tip of his nose sticking up out of the water. He's about to go to the lilies now. He's about to turn. Very skittish fish. It's very hard to see because it's the surface of the water, and the reflection here is yep, he's turning. And there he goes. Oh, there's another one coming. Actually, now there's two of them. Two Asian needle-nosed gars. There we go. Nice. Very nice. So, yep. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's an eel? Oh, those are the Asian needle-nosed gars. They're going into that little shallow bin. I don't know what it is about that bin, but I know shallow water tends to hold more dissolved oxygen. I don't see the sharks coming up, shark catfish that is, coming up to the surface, so I have to assume that if they're not struggling, that there's enough oxygen, just enough oxygen for everybody to do okay, well enough where they're not dying, they're just struggling, but they're... Okay, let's go ahead and we'll go to the shed over here and get my little device. I'm gonna leave this recording if I can. Not the best YouTube video person in the world, so I'll kind of leave that there. Oops. Okay, I'm back. So, going to take a while for this to stabilize. EO3 just means, it's time for me to get the dissolved oxygen probe, some PLC, change it out, or fix it anyway. I'm trying to see if there's a... Sorry, I'm looking over here. See if there's normally the male Diamondback Terrapin, the little one, hangs out here. So I'm trying to see if I can find him. I'm also keeping an eye on this datnoid because it doesn't look like he's getting any better. I'm not going to try and move him. I'm going to leave him where he is. Ooh, that's what I saw. It was another eel, I think, going inside the PVC pipe that I said was for the mud skipper. That's what I saw jetting in there. Oh, that's not my imagination. That's just a leaf. Yep, he's still over there. Yep, he is still over there. And there's always something moving around here, so I'm always thinking I'm seeing something when I'm not. It's really have to look at every little thing. Half the time I forget what the hell I put in this pond, especially if I haven't seen it in years. And literally, sometimes I won't see a fish for a month, a couple weeks, and then suddenly I'd see it and thinking, oh, that fish died, something happened to it. And now I know not to assume that anymore, because I would go and buy more fish thinking, oh, that was died, let me get more. But I'm actually doing a pretty good job, really good job, I think, now that I've finally mastered this brackish water pond thing. It's the first couple of years were a struggle with temperature, and then it would rain. Of course, it rained last night, which lowers the pH, which stretches the fish out, it lowers the salinity. You have brackish water fish, and yes, they are used to changing conditions, but when you have pet fish and you want to keep them in ideal conditions, what's going on in nature isn't, it sounds funny, but isn't always ideal, because nature's there to filter out, to go through the weakened fish, those that aren't tough enough. And yet, you don't want that in my pond. I want every fish to survive, weak or tough, because I spend a lot of money on the fish. So it's a little bit different. I don't want them to be going through what they would in the wild. I want them to have better conditions than that, the most ideal conditions they could have if they were in the wild, in terms of food, in terms of water quality, and on all those things. So just remember that when you're thinking of your fish. Yes, they can handle a certain amount of stress, which they would handle in the wild, but why have it at all if you can avoid that stress altogether and give your fish optimal conditions? It's like saying, well, I can go live as a caveman, right? That human beings were evolved to be hunter-gatherers, but that may not be the best thing for human beings, for my longevity, for my health. Ooh, you can kind of see, there they are over there. You can see the Asian needlenose guys again, way over there. Cool, really cool. Nice. Okay, well, I thought I saw something, I did not. Let's go check out the, I think I just saw the, and this is what happened. This thing, yeah, water got in here. It got in this gray device right here, which is water resistant, but since it's laying flat, water probably pooled, got in it, and it shut itself off. All this stuff is plugged into my shed over here. Luckily, it did not trip the break in the shed, because this device has its own breaker, so it tripped here. Otherwise, the whole system was shut down. I did have one filter that kept going. I did have some heaters that were plugged into this device, which is also water resistant. It's pretty tough, but you see, water can't really get to it the way it's situated. So it kept that one filter on, which was probably enough to keep the oxygen levels just high enough to keep everybody going. I think I got some Asian needlenose gars coming this way again. Oh, can't see crap there. Alright, let's walk around. Hopefully I don't freak them out. I think they're the ones that have been splashing like crazy. Okay, so look at this. So my dissolved oxygen levels are literally about 10%. That is really, really low. Normally it gets down to about 25% with the filters running at night in this pond, and the fish are just fine with that. I used to do water quality sampling, and I forget what the dissolved oxygen minimum that they would like to see in healthy water. I think it's 5%. So we're pretty close to that very crappy dissolved oxygen level of 5%, which everything would have been dead if I woke up this morning and was that low. There's just too many fish in here for a 5% water level. Apparently there's just enough fish in here for about a 10% water level, because remember, I just turned the filters on. They've been running for about a half an hour now. So this may have been even lower, this dissolved oxygen level that I'm seeing. In fact, if I really want to see what it is, I should probably put this in the back end of my pond, because this right now is right next to the filter. And so if we want to see what's really going on, or what really happened last night. Ooh, what's that? That's another Polanyi little guy. I have to be careful, because this is where I was standing, and there'd be something there. So that's my big Polanyi over here. If you can see that guy or not. I think you can't. Yep, there he is. Get this camera going around here. Oh. This is my other green spotted puffer. Zoom in on that guy. There you go. There's the second one. So there's 1, 2 green spotted puffers. He's also struggling to breathe. So we're going to drop this back in here. Sorry guys, hold on a second. There we go. We're going to drop that in there. And we're going to see where this, we're going to let it go to the bottom as well. Over there by the filter, this was within 6 inches, which is what you'd normally do if you're testing water quality. You'd put the probes within 6 inches to a foot of the surface. Here I'm going to drop it at the bottom of the pond, so we have an idea what the bottom of the pond dissolved oxygen levels are like. And that might give us a, you know, there's less water being stirred in the back here. This corner is the furthest corner away from the filter, so more than likely the oxygen levels here haven't gone up. I see a few fish that aren't struggling too much, but they're mostly the smaller fish. The larger fish are still struggling like crazy to survive. And I'm going to stay out here with them until I know they're okay. Our dissolved oxygen levels are slowly dropping. We'll give it some more time. I can also see that the pH dropped. I usually keep the pH at 7.5 or higher. And currently the pH is 7.3, which also will stress the fish out. So not only do they have to deal with less dissolved oxygen in their water, they're also dealing with the fact that the pH levels have dropped. And that's about it. pH levels have dropped. So I have a little trick for the pH levels that'll bring it up, not super fast. You can go to Lowe's and you can get lime, and you can get pulverized lime. It's basically pulverized shells of like either limestone or, like, you know, shelled animals from the ocean. And it also has diatomaceous earth, and that helps to bring the pH back up. I usually put about a cup in or so, and that usually does the trick. It'll bring it up from about 7.3 to 7.5, and of course you don't want to do it too fast. Look at that. So dissolved oxygen levels at 7.0, and it looks like it's still dropping. So at that 5%, all these fish would have been dead. So it was very close to 5%. We're probably at, I don't know, still dropped. Maybe it was at 6%, or even close, right on 5%. I don't know. But if it had dropped below 5%, I would be seeing dead fish. More than likely, the oxygen levels were high because this filter was going in when I went to sleep, which was about 10, 11 o'clock at night, which means sometime maybe early this morning it stopped working, and so these fish have been without the filtration for maybe 4 or 5 hours. Dissolved oxygen levels have slowly been dropping since then. So if I didn't come outside and it continued to drop, because, you know, the plants are just now getting sunlight, they're just now starting to switch to photosynthesis, and they should just now start putting out oxygen for my fish. If I didn't come out this morning, I'd probably see a lot more gloom and doom. Okay, well, I think that's all I'm going to record. You guys saw the Diamondback Terrapin. We did not see the cute little male. I don't know where he is. So, you know, and I'll put some food out. Maybe we can attract him. I want to stay out here with these fish just to keep an eye on them. Some more orange chromides, and I got a giant Yucatan molly in there. A couple of giant Yucatan mollies in there. Those males are huge. They get like 5 inches long. Okay, so let's, sometimes if I put some food out, let's go get some food. Just a little bit, because, you know, let's try and keep the biodegradable stuff to a minimum so we don't eat up more oxygen. We'll put one little drop here, see if he comes. If he comes, he usually comes right there, and we'll put one right there as well. We'll see if that gets his attention. We can then record the male. Keep walking around this pond. Yeah, this might be a longer video after all. We're already at 35 minutes. Almost twice the length I normally like to do. There it is, my Tiger Moray eel still hanging out. Chilling in the water, gasping for air. Again, they can deal with really low dissolved oxygen levels. Eels are pretty tough. It's amazing what they can tolerate. And just because I'm seeing that one doesn't mean there's only that one in here. It just means that's the one that sticks out like a sore thumb because he's on a surface that allows me to see him better. There could be more underneath all this vegetation that I'm just not seeing. I had regular moray eels, you know, the brackish water moray eels. What do you call those things now? Can't think of the scientific name right now, but you all know the more common brackish water eels in here. One died. I'm not sure what happened. He may have gotten stuck onto something and died. And the other one I never was able to see. He used to come out of a PVC pipe and I'd see him every day, and one day he just wasn't in that PVC pipe anymore. So I'm glad this guy is here. I did see this, well, I'm assuming it's the same one, I'm not sure. I did see a Tiger Moray eel last week when I got in the pond, and I pulled up a PVC to see what was in the PVC, and there was a Tiger Moray eel in that PVC. So this could be the same Tiger Moray eel that I saw. Maybe it's another one, I don't know. Still didn't get to see what went in that PVC pipe. It may have left. I thought it was a moray eel because I looked from a distance and something long and sinewy came out of it and went under. And now I don't see anything. So if it was the mud skipper, he would have poked his head out of either end by now. So I'm not sure if it is the mud skipper at all. Alright, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to get in this pond and walk around. And let me just see what's going on the edge first. It might be stuff that I'm just missing. Luckily, my Diamondback Terrapins are very young, and so they are ignoring the fish because they're really large fish. When they get larger, if these fish were to get stressed out like this and slow down like they are now, my hope is that because I never feed these Diamondback, I don't plan to feed these Diamondback Terrapins live fish. I'll always feed them crustaceans. Is that they never really think of the fish as food. That's my hope anyway. That's what I'm doing right now, and I'm checking the edge of the pond to make sure, you know, maybe there's another eel or something somewhere. Let's go around here. Well, my buddy hasn't come up yet, which is unusual for him. And these Diamondback Terrapins are kind of the same way as some of these fish. I don't see them for a day or two, at most a day or two, I should say. And I freak out, I'm like, oh my God, it got stuck somewhere, it's dead, and then there they are all of a sudden. So we've been seeing the